It's so interesting. Everybody's joking about like, yeah, give China my data. I don't care.
Okay, so now the big tech companies are still allowed to collect all this data and do weird shit.
Well, now you're
Uber's allowed to like implement God mode and watch where you travel.
Wait, so what is your ultimate position on this?
My position is that if you want to protect consumers' data, do it.
We're split hairs.
I'm just...
I mean, really, truly, I've given you all these examples of this.
This TikTok ban does not do anything to mitigate those. You are listing all kinds of American platforms that are compromised by China daily.
Yes.
Wait, we're going to go in circles.
No, but we're going to make it so that this foreign adversary can't manipulate your data and use it against you, but it's fine if American companies.
That's what I've been saying this whole time.
No, and I've been agreeing with you. I'm like, yes, I agree. Ni hao, 欢迎来到本黑暗面区，我们今天为您带来精彩的一集。
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
We'll get there. We're working on it.
For those of you who don't speak Mandarin, I just said hello and welcome to the Ben and Emil Show. We've got a good episode for you today. It's going to be an extremely, I did say that something Chinese is coming this year, and I think this. I don't know if this qualifies as it.
I think something Chinese is going, as in we are all going Chinese.
We've got a veritable banger of an episode today. I was up late doing a lot of.
Also, before we say anything,
what?
Boston, buy a ticket.
Boston,
check
buy a
the
ticket.
link in the description. We'll see you there, February 6th.
Ni hao, Boston.
Ni hao to all our Boston fans.
Ni hao, Boston. Let me see what that would be. Boston, people, buy a ticket for our show. 购买我们演出的门票.
And that's for our Chinese Boston fans.
Probably just one.
No, there's a few.
How many Chinese people are in Boston?
Quite a few.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And get out there and smash that buy button on the tickets. We'll see you there.
So we've got the Boston show coming up. We're almost out of tickets, so you better hurry up. And I apologize that I've got my computer out. It's just that there's too much stuff, and I'm gonna do my best. We don't like to just be reading off the computer, but I did take a lot of notes.
Guys, he took notes.
I took notes.
Take note. He took notes.
And so this is gonna be all about mostly the TikTok ban, and I've got.
TikTok Ben.
We've all got our opinions on this, and I've got one that's, it's complicated because I see both sides of this.
Opinions are like assholes. It's complicated. Wait, it makes more sense if you've seen Ben's asshole.
You stinky winky. I haven't seen my own asshole in years. When's the last time you saw yours?
It's a great question.
I have no interest. It kind of freaks me out.
Let's keep rolling.
Yeah, let's keep rolling.
Let's just go right into the TikTok ban. Everyone's talking about it. It's coming. It's here.
Yeah, that Supreme
Court's here in oral arguments
we don't need
right now.
Well, we've got the SCOTUS. SCOTUSblog.com has a great summary of the this woman Amy Howe has this great summary of the arguments that were heard in this case, TikTok versus Garland.
Amy said, "How? I'll tell you.
I'll tell you, man." And so what's going on is basically they are ruling on the constitutionality of this federal law that would require TikTok to shut down unless its parent company ByteDance can sell it by January 19th.
Yeah, TikTok is the American subsidiary of, I don't know how to say it in Chinese, but the ByteDance company.
Try it.
No. But yeah, this is all about a law. What was it, April or May that this went into effect, where they basically are claiming that TikTok presents a unique national security threat, and unless they figure out some kind of divestiture, it's got to cease operations in America.
Yeah.
But this has also been going on for so long. It feels like since 2021 we've been talking about how lawmakers.
2020, I think.
Was it that far back?
I think, yeah. Trump.
I mean, yeah, he was the OG. I want to ban the thing. He's gone.
He's flip-flopped.
We'll talk about that. But yeah, they've been talking about banning this fucking app forever.
So it escalated to the Supreme Court. And on Friday, the justices were the justices were asking questions of both sides about whether the law actually, so this is the crux of it, whether this law actually restricts TikTok's freedom of speech and what will happen if there's no sale by this deadline. Interestingly, speaking of Trump, he filed this woman put it in quotes, friend of the court brief. Have you ever heard of something like this?
No, I didn't even see this.
Oh, well, he filed a brief in December asking the Supreme Court to delay the effective date so that he could negotiate a resolution when he takes office. And I mean,
right, I know, yeah.
As of this recording, this is what sucks. Anything can happen by the time that this comes out.
Also, clips of him have been resurfacing of the way he was talking about TikTok during the campaign and everything like that. And it's just, it makes so much sense how he's so much better at just communicating things. And he's literally talking directly to young people saying like, if you like TikTok, vote for me. I'm going to bring it back. It's just like, if you want this, vote for me. It's just so simple.
I am confident that he'd be able to facilitate a sale rather, or some kind of compromise. Because that's what it boils down to is ByteDance is unwilling to sell it. And so they're kind of calling the U.S. government's bluff. So you've got,
but I also don't think it matters that much to them. It's not like a huge portion of their user base. It is a lot
ByteDance?
of, you're talking about 170 million. They call it monthly users. I don't know exactly how
monthly active users.
That exactly equates to, but I don't think it's going to make a huge impact on them if.
Well, I mean, they'd be turning down,
$50
I don't even
billion.
know. Is it 50 billion? So, spearheading the TikTok side, interestingly, is a man named Noel. I'm just going to say Noel, since that's how I know Noel to be pronounced. Noel Francisco, who, interestingly enough, was the Solicitor General under Trump. So the lawyer representing TikTok is a guy named Noel Francisco, and then there's this guy, Jeffrey Fisher, who represents a group of TikTok users. They are arguing that it boils down to a free speech issue. They're saying that the government cannot restrict speech in order to protect speech. And they're saying that this is restricting speech because it might sow doubt about U.S. leaders. Like they're saying that, just because the government is afraid that it's going to sow doubt among the United States populace about its own leaders, that's what our enemies do.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it's the most convincing argument. It's
right.
They're saying that TikTok is not actually a Chinese company; it's an American company because it's the American subsidiary. So they're protected by free speech, and that users, because it's two different people. TikTok is arguing, and then TikTok users are also arguing, and TikTok users are saying that their free speech is being infringed upon, but it's not exactly. They're not saying you can't. The government's not coming in and saying you can't say certain things. They're saying, hey, sorry, this application is a national security threat. We're not allowing people to use it anymore.
Right. Because the United States then was...
They're not targeting specific people and saying, hey, you're saying this. You're not allowed to say it.
Right. And that's what it boils down to is the Supreme Court is trying to determine the constitutionality of the law and whether or not it actually infringes upon free speech by enforcing this law. So they're saying that the United States' position is that it poses a grave threat to national security because the Chinese, they're saying, and I was listening to the clip of there's this woman on YouTube who's been covering this, and it's like a 4-hour long video, but she's saying that the Chinese government, the woman arguing on behalf, the Solicitor General was saying the Chinese government could secretly manipulate content, and all that data would give them a powerful tool for harassment and espionage. And regarding speech, she's saying that users can still have free speech if ByteDance sells. And it was interesting because the justices are they're all asking questions. Thomas Kagan and Amy Coney Barrett seemed persuaded. And they said, hey, well, the law only targets ByteDance. And ByteDance doesn't have First Amendment rights. So therefore, hey, maybe it's constitutional. And Justice Roberts was interested in the national security part, saying that the ultimate company that controls TikTok's ByteDance is subject to Chinese laws. And he said, yeah, which includes an obligation to assist the Chinese intelligence apparatus if they are so inclined to. I mean, that was like at the bulk of remember the hearings with the Singaporean. I know.
Oh,
It's so hard. I mean, yeah.
I mean, Tom Cotton over and over going.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Singapore?
You Chinese? You look Asian.
You ever applied for a Chinese passport? No.
Yeah. Huh.
You ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party? No, I'm Singaporean.
But I'm looking at your eyes, and
you ever thought about joining the Chinese Communist Party? No.
Yeah.
This whole thing feels so. It's obviously we didn't live through it, but anytime you watch any piece of media, a movie or TV show where they're kind of cartoonishly representing the McCarthy era or whatever, or just, Cold War hysteria, it feels so similar to that.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole communist scare thing. I did think that Brett Kavanaugh made an interesting point, which was he was saying that he was just kind of wondering aloud that, hey, all this, because, part of it is
how much he loves beer.
Part of the issue is data. And he was saying, well, hey, it's entirely possible that this data can be used in the future against some of these users who might go on to become U.S. officials, which is that's a very valid.
I don't find it persuasive at all.
I think that's a very valid possibility in this day and age.
All of these things are possible with.
And there's a precedent for it, and I'll get to it.
With whenever they try to frame it as any kind of privacy concern, it is just not persuasive at all.
Because I disagree wholeheartedly.
But every tech company,
yes,
has has access to the same data, if not more. They say, Meta and Google collect more of this tracking data than TikTok even touches.
Right.
And you're basically just talking about trust. You're saying, well, I trust these Silicon Valley tech overlords more than the Chinese government. It's like, well, I don't trust any of them. If you're worried about this, implement some real American privacy laws.
Yeah.
They came up and they said, you know what? We'll water it down. And then actually we'll just let it kind of disappear because we're not really concerned about that.
That's one of the things that it boiled down to for me is who do you distrust more or who do you trust more?
But it shouldn't be that. If it's dangerous in the hands of Chinese actors, it's dangerous in the hands of
who, like Jackie Chan?
Tech overlords. No, I mean,
you said Chinese actors.
At this point, there's no. I don't think there's any evidence that China has used TikTok to spy on Americans.
Hey, gang, we want to take a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's show. You've heard us talk about them on here once before. I believe it's Mud Water. Mud Water. Hey, brother, you need a cup of mud?
I do need a cup of mud. Some of you might know, I've probably mentioned, I'm not a coffee drinker.
No, famously.
It's difficult to not be a coffee drinker because, I like a little pick-me-up, but coffee doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel bad. And I don't want to feel bad from a little pick-me-up, right? And, of course, everyone's talking about, functional mushrooms and it's all the hype. This stuff rocks.
Yeah, baby. It tastes really good, first and foremost. And every single ingredient in Mud Water's products are 100% USDA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. There's also zero sugar. And each ingredient serves a purpose. They got organic ingredients for a clean, natural boost. You get a little, it's not just coffee. It's this whole collection of things.
Cacao, chai, lion's mane, chaga, reishi, cordyceps, turmeric, cinnamon.
Yeah.
All right. It's giving you a smooth energy boost, but none of that heart racing jitters you get with coffee. Okay.
Yeah, I hate that part. You can drop the powder into your favorite mug, pour some water on it, give it a mix. You can add creamer, you can add honey, CBD. They also have caffeine-free blends available. And the best part is it provides sustained energy without the spikes and the crash of a traditional coffee, which is what I like because sometimes I need that little boost late in the afternoon after recording this show.
We all do.
Yeah, play with Doug a little bit and get him riled up. Maybe make myself a little mud water thing. The little starter pack came with a little whisk.
Then
that's me whisking. I'm
maybe
like,
Daddy gets a little riled up too.
Dougie does? No, I can't give it to
I
Dog.
said Daddy.
Oh, Daddy. Yeah, Daddy. So are you ready to make the switch to cleaner energy? Head to mudwater.com. That's MUDWTR.com and grab your starter kit today. Right now, our listeners get an exclusive deal, which is up to 43% off your entire order, plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use the code BAES. That's right, up to 43% off with code BAES at MUDWTR.com. After your purchase, they'll ask how you found them. So please show your support and let them know we sent you. Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with Mudwater, because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy. There's going to be a lot that goes against that.
Like
Not
what?
necessarily TikTok.
I'm not saying that China's never spied on Americans.
No, sure.
But I don't think there's evidence that they've used TikTok to spy on Americans.
I don't remember if I've got anything in here about TikTok specifically being used yet.
America and China and a lot of countries do all kinds of nefarious things online to spy on people.
True.
They're also already using American apps. There's going to be Chinese actors using Instagram, Meta, Twitter, whatever to influence things. Shutting down TikTok is not going to negate that impact.
Sure. I think if I'm understanding the United States' case, it's just that they don't like the idea of a foreign adversarial government.
Oh no, I totally understand that. They're very clear that their whole thing is like, too bad, so sad. We deem you a national security threat.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
And there is precedent.
I'm very clear on that.
There's a lot of precedent for that. So that's the thing that I've been seeing. So I'm going to reference Kyla Scanlon wrote a great piece about this. You guys should check it out. I will link it in the description. But so just real fast, TikTok had argued that if their concern was manipulation, they should try disclaimers. They were tossing around that idea. Ketanji Justice Brown.
Basically saying you could be exposed to
hey, let's try
propaganda.
disclaimers and disclosures. And then they were saying, well, Shine and Temu have users' data too. And it's also, and then they also said, and it's also just kind of too late, right? Like they've already got we've already got everybody's data. And it's like, sure, but I mean, going forward, there's going to be new users signing up. There's all kinds of things. So that's the thing. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people joking. It's so interesting. Everybody's joking about like, yeah, give China my data. I don't care. Give it to them. They've like, I'd rather China have my data than Facebook. And it blows my mind. Like,
why?
Because the Chinese government.
But I'm not saying it's good that the Chinese government has. I think it's bad that all these people have our data.
I agree.
And I don't.
Fully.
Clearly, Mark Zuckerberg, as we've seen, is at the whim of whichever way the wind's blowing.
Yes.
I don't trust that like Mark Zuckerberg is going, it's of utmost concern that we, protect our users' data. He could use it in whatever way.
We had that with Cambridge Analytica.
Sure. But so I don't know why I would feel more comfortable with Mark Zuckerberg having it. Or
I'm not
Elon
saying
Musk
that's not the binary here.
Oh, but,
I
but
think
you're seeing people saying I'd rather China have it than Mark.
I'm just saying that people are joking about the data. They're just totally fine with it being in the hands of a foreign government, ostensibly down the line.
I think it's because it's easy to be so cavalier when it's so out of control, when your data is so far gone.
I agree, but I don't think that necessarily. I don't know. That's like saying
they're going to have it. I mean, yeah,
that's also at the heart of all of this is we are the commodity.
Yeah.
And it's not good. And I think that
I'm just saying this doesn't solve that.
It does. It's something. It's
Sure.
something. I mean, it absolutely is because it's a potential tool for use by a foreign government. All of this information, and we've seen.
You could classify Instagram as that. Or,
yes,
yeah,
but they're not a foreign government.
No, but foreign governments use them and
Sure.
and influence them in the same way.
Right.
But so you could call it a potential tool for a foreign government in just the same way.
Absolutely, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
and I think that this is such that's why this is such a big deal, is because I mean, so this is a quote from a Slate article that Kyla actually referenced that was just put out. Xi Jinping himself. So
the man himself.
This is just to speak to how important and crucial data is. So everybody who's very cavalier about it, listen to what Xi Jinping said. After he got elected, he said, whoever controls big data technologies will control the resources for development and have the upper hand. And then he signed the National Intelligence Law of 2017, giving Chinese intelligence the right to private data held within any Chinese company. There is precedent. So I'm just going to, there's a ton, but here's some that I cherry picked. In 2018, a Norwegian nonprofit. Did you know that? I didn't even know this. Grindr used to be owned by a Chinese company.
I didn't know that either. Yeah,
Did not know
I
that.
saw it when I was looking into stuff.
So this is a big one, folks. In 2018, a Norwegian nonprofit found that Chinese-owned, at the time, Grindr was sharing users' HIV status and their last tested date with 2 outside firms. And the fear there is blackmail, because there might be fucking U.S. intelligence or politics. Who the fuck knows? It's on Grindr. And if a foreign adversarial government has that data, who knows what the fuck they could do? There were other issues, and then they were forced to sell to a U.S. firm in 2020.
I think you're missing my point, though. This is a big deal, but the better way to go about it is actual consumer protections that protect Americans' data. So if a Chinese company wants to operate here, it's not a big deal because we go, oh yeah, sure, run your company. Just so you know, there's big protections on on what you can collect on our citizens and stuff like that. And they go, oh sure, yeah, I guess if we want to operate here, we got to comply with that.
Yeah.
So this doesn't really okay, so now the big tech companies are still allowed to collect all this data and do weird shit.
Now you're
Uber's allowed to implement God mode and watch where you travel and shit like that.
See, that's the thing. There's so much shit happening about data, and I usually just say, yeah, sure, take it, do it, whatever.
Oh, it's exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
It's all on you. The little piecemeal things they've implemented just means that I get a fucking pop up on every site I go on about cookies and managing cookies, and it's I don't want to manage cookies right now. I just want to fucking.
And the way they phrase it, they put accept all in the highlighted box to make it look like the website will only function if you accept them.
Yeah.
And if you say no, do not allow, I'm like, okay, well then it's gonna. So I just accept them.
Me too. And because sometimes it opens a thing where it's well, click which ones you want. I'm like, well, which ones are necessary for this fucking thing?
I just want to read the fucking thing. But so then you had a Romanian Supreme Court reverse their country's presidential elections recently after their intelligence agencies found that foreign actors used TikTok to give a pro-Russian candidate a lead in primaries. We talked about the foreign which ones that own the Chicago
that was the Saudis.
Saudi Arabia owning the parking meters in fucking Chicago.
What does that have to do with?
It's just another example of foreign investments in and dabbling in and around American interests and American companies, and how it's not anything new. So in 2007, this was very surprising to me.
Yes, but we're a global.
Exactly.
That's going to happen. I mean, we're talking about a very specific thing.
And it's not just China. We've gone after India, Japan, the UK, other companies or foreign.
And I think in all of these instances, it's our own leaders unwilling to take any kind of step to protect us against this. We sold off. I don't want to get diverted on the parking meters thing, but that's just them selling off to the highest bidder. It's just our own infrastructure. It's just.
But then you do have good moments where in 2007, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. blocked a United Arab Emirates firm from buying commercial operations of 6 U.S. ports, including New Jersey, New York, and Miami. 2016, Obama blocked a Chinese company from acquiring a United States subsidiary of a German semiconductor company. In 2017, the next year, Trump stopped a Chinese investment firm from acquiring a U.S. supplier of semiconductors to our military. So it's always fucking. And then, I was looking up Chinese hacks. There's, holy shit, man. It's fucking mind-boggling. There is so much cyber warfare going on between us and them. And
all done without TikTok. Hey, y'all. It's time for another ad break. Today we're talking Rocket Money.
Rocket Money?
It's a new year. It's a new you. All right.
Yeah.
We're trying to help you reach your financial goals. If you're like me, you might got a whole bunch of stuff on your credit card where you're going, what the heck is this?
This guy's a big screw up. He's going, what am I doing, man?
What did I
got
subscribe to?
All these subscriptions that.
And the worst part is, you look at your bank statement and it's just some weird code. It'll say, some kind of vendor, and you're like,
in a different state?
Yeah.
And then you call and you're like, what was it? Oh, sometimes it might be embarrassing. Sometimes it might be an embarrassing one that you don't want.
I need that off the statement.
I need that out of here now. So enter Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. They got a handy dandy dashboard. You can see everything all in one place. And guess what? If you don't want to cancel, you want to renegotiate your bills, Rocket Money will do it on your behalf. They have over 5 million users and have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features.
My God.
So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/BAES today. That's rocketmoney.com/BAES. rocketmoney.com/BAES. I'm trying to underscore the fact that
what, China is an adversary?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
But that's already clear. They're listed as
so what is your ultimate position on this?
My position is that if you want to protect consumers' data, do it.
Yes.
Don't do this like dog and pony show and pretend like this one thing, because it's owned by a foreign adversary, is really the danger. The big danger is big tech, and you guys will not protect us from it. Everyone is collecting this data on us, and that is not the conversation. The conversation's like, well, this is, think about how China could use it against you if you run for office later in life.
Here's the thing. There can be multiple conversations going on at once. This is an important one, as is the one that I'm on the same page as you.
You think getting rid of TikTok is like a big...
I don't think getting rid of it. I think that it absolutely should be divested from ByteDance. The more I've read about this, the more I'm like, yeah, there shouldn't be I think that it should not be... The buck shouldn't stop at a Chinese-owned company when there is so much precedent for cyber warfare going on. Like, I wouldn't... Yeah, it's not much better with Meta and Facebook. Also bad.
Yeah.
But I'm just
saying there's a way to combat that.
Yeah.
Without doing all of this.
I think that we will...
I also don't know where I land.
And that's okay too, folks.
I was always like pro get rid of this fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I think the way they supercharge the algorithm is not a good thing. I think...
Fully agree.
You can tell there's something different with people since obviously it launched before the pandemic, but it really went crazy during the pandemic, and people are just different. I mean, it's just... And I would prefer people didn't use it. But, I've heard a lot of people... It's changed people's lives.
Yeah.
And people
for
have
the
gotten...
good?
Yeah.
For
people
the
have gotten used... that's what I mean. It's changed people's lives in a good way too. People have gotten used to using it and been able to launch businesses, launch careers, launch all kinds of things through this app. I do find it really unfortunate, watching all these people go, I just use this platform to launch... What am I supposed to do when this goes away?
Yeah.
It is... Yeah, I find it very frustrating that more and more people are kind of left on their own. They're like, fine, we'll use these new ways to fucking do shit. And then the government's just like, you know what? We're going to pull the rug out from you on that one because we decided that it's a threat to us.
Yeah. I pulled some pretty big examples of some cyber war that I just thought were really interesting and deserving of talking about. The Equifax hack that we all hopefully remember from 2017 was done by four members of the People's Liberation Army. The Treasury Department was just hacked by Chinese hackers. 2015, the U.S. Office of Personnel Management was hacked. The records of 21.5 million people who have worked for, tried to work for, or currently work for the United States government was exposed. In 2018, the Supermicro that we've talked about before was forced by the People's Liberation Army to add microchips with hardware backdoors to servers that were then sold to U.S. government contracts and commercial clients. 2023, just 2 years ago, Microsoft said that a Chinese state-sponsored hacking group called Volt Typhoon, which is really fucking cool. That's a really cool name.
Typhoon.
So that's the other thing. Had targeted critical infrastructure and military installations in Guam, Hawaii, Texas, and other places. Operation Aurora is a fucking huge one. It was a series of cyber attacks I didn't know about this. Performed by Advanced Persistent Threats, which is an entirely... Do you know about APTs, these Advanced Persistent Threats?
No.
It's basically it's ongoing threats to like cybersecurity. And when you go through that list, it includes, here, go back to the thing. It goes back, there's some really cool ones. There's one called Titan Rain. I mean, there's, APT groups. You've got PLA Unit 61398, Buckeye, Red Apollo, Numbered Panda, Deputy Dog, Zirconium, APT. These are all just like nicknames for these hacker groups. And it's fascinating, and it's a world that I did not even know existed. And they did all sorts of crazy shit. Operation Aurora, they like hacked Google in 2010, and it was a major, major, major deal. The attack was directed at dozens of other organizations: Adobe Systems, Akamai, Juniper Networks, Rackspace, Yahoo, Symantec, Northrop Grumman, Morgan Stanley, Dow Chemical were also among the targets. 2020, FBI Director Christopher Wray said the FBI opens a new China-related counterintelligence case every 10 hours and cited a December 2020, there's this Axios report of this woman named Christine Fang, who was a student in the Bay Area who had developed extensive ties with politicians between 2011 and 2015, and she was reportedly having sex with at least 2 mayors in the Midwest, which is also kind of cool. And then, the fact that China steals between $200 and $600 billion in American IP every year. So when I was talking about, like, it's not exactly, it's not that crazy and not that wild and outlandish for them to have put, I mean, it's been years for them to finally be like, okay, we got to do something about this. But
I just don't know if this is, there's no evidence that China's used TikTok to spy on Americans or do anything like that.
That's not true. They spied on journalists.
TikTok did.
Yes.
Not China.
I mean, we're splitting hairs here.
I'm just...
I mean, really, truly, I've given you all these examples.
I'm not saying China does not do nefarious things. I'm not saying that China is some force for good in the world and would never do these bad things. I'm just saying this does not solve those problems. This TikTok ban does not do anything to mitigate those. You are listing all kinds of American platforms that are compromised by China daily.
Yes. I think that it's
so
absolutely
get
relevant.
Them off this one, get them on the ones that they're constantly...
I don't think that anybody's arguing get them onto these, except if you're Mark Zuckerberg or if you're
Mark Zuckerberg.
They want this to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Snapchat. They all want this to
happen.
I
also, I think we talked about it in like April or May when they first passed the law. And I do think a lot of it came out of, senators like Mitt Romney and other people were explicit about anti-American sentiment, anti-Israel sentiment.
Right.
And that was what seemed to me like the final push.
Yes.
And when you're talking about how they've been talking about this since 2020, and then they can't get anything done. And then all of a sudden they're like, I don't know. It seems like we're losing the teens on Israel here. Maybe we should do something about this.
That's the thing.
That's when I'm like, this is not about fucking protecting Americans here at all.
It's about all these different things. Mitt Romney and some of the Israel lobby absolutely don't want TikTok. Sure. Google doesn't want TikTok. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't. But that's just one of many. It's more than just that.
I just don't think it accomplishes the goals you're talking about.
I think it absolutely does. I think that for there to be a foreign government, imagine if there was a TV channel that like Russia owned. And we've
had RT, what is it? Russia Today.
Right, but if it was the primary source that 150 million Americans used every month, I wouldn't exactly be cool with Russia and Putin being the ones where they have the final say on what gets shown to Americans in America. That presents a problem for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Like, that's risky. I mean, for them to be able to, like, okay, the Cambridge Analytica thing was able to sway an election. That underscores just how important data is.
Yeah, and if you listen to people, they say Russia already swayed our elections too.
Right.
Yeah.
So for people to be like, I don't care if the Chinese government has our data, you absolutely fucking should, because we've seen what people can do with data.
Yeah, I do. That's why. Yeah,
yes.
We're going to go in circles.
No, but I think we agree.
Love it if there was, if the government was actually talking about protecting my data.
I think they also are. I think there's.
Is there a big push?
Yeah, there's fucking the Lena Khan and the FTC.
Lena Khan, she's getting the boot. They're all like,
I'm not. I think we're both. I'm saying this is a good thing. I think divesting it, not shutting it down. I don't want to see it shut down. We use TikTok. I love TikTok for many, many reasons. I think that it's toxic in many ways for the discourse. I think it's bad for critical thinking skills. I think that it has ruined people's brains in many ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of slop on there. But ultimately, I don't want to fucking censor that. I just don't want it to be in the hands of America. Because we live in America, folks. I know that a lot of people are mad at the American government, and you have every right to be. But when they say, oh, we're worried, when people are like, oh, the American government is worried about its people rising up against it, like, you know who wants to see Americans rise up against its government? Fucking China. They want it. Don't you think that would make China and other United States enemies extremely happy to see Americans rise up against their own government? Like, that would make them happy. Would it not?
This feels like Cold War hysteria, but I don't know.
I think that there's absolutely, and then people are now, it's really, really funny. It's the most American thing ever that people are now downloading this Red Note app. And they're having these
This has been my favorite thing. I mean, there are so many.
It's mind-blowing, though, because it underscores how quick people are to make a decision based off of, like, a TikTok, where they're like, no, someone says something in such a way that's really catchy and is like, yeah, that's a good point, without doing any fucking research. And, like, they've already banned LGBTQ people and content on there. They're banning people with women wearing low-cut tops. They can access your browser history, photo album, microphone and camera, geolocation, and use all of it whenever they want for whatever they want.
But is that different from any other app?
No, but
no. I know. This is the thing, though. It
because it's not.
I know.
Yeah.
You just make it sound nefarious when you say it like they're doing this. But I just want to. That's standard practice.
Yes.
And like as everyone said, TikTok does like not go above and beyond what standard Silicon Valley apps do on your phone and social media platforms do.
Yeah.
I do think like that's been part of the it's people are like, holy shit, they're not collecting more data on you than your average app.
I don't know about that. I can't speak to that. It gives me chills to think about what data they've got on me out there. TikTok, Google, all that shit. They've got extensive profiles. You guys should also watch that Social Dilemma documentary on Netflix that talks about all these American companies that misuse our data. Have you seen Social Dilemma?
No, I'm trying to watch. I'm trying to find if that. I don't want to say that if that's not true, but I'm trying to find if TikTok is actually collecting. I'm pretty sure they're just collecting
standard stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Click that, Jim. Can you click that good post though? This was a great post someone found on Red Note. Don't get it.
People are pointing out that banning TikTok is not going as they expected. Obviously, this is just a handful of things we're going to be showing, but it does weirdly, seemingly pushing some people into the arms of China.
Oh, this guy. Oh, this is great.
Instagram is gonna go out real sad. And watch this. 漂亮女孩在哪里? These niggas are light years ahead of us. First thing I see on this fucking app is Luigi content and fine shit throwing fits, bro. I saw a fucking post that said black people are greater than, and it was just a fucking collage of dark-skinned, beautiful people. Mark Zuckerberg was scared of me giving up my data. Bitch, I'm about to give that shit straight to Xi Jinping in a red fucking envelope, nigga. 我讨厌美国. The niggas who get it, get it. And the best part is, I don't even gotta introduce these niggas to communism. The app is literally fucking Instagram, Tumblr, and TikTok all fucking squeezed into one, bro. All I'm gonna say to y'all, though, is come with some fucking respect, because I don't give a fuck if they're speaking Mandarin. Mandarin is the most spoken language in the fucking world. I'm gonna need y'all to lock in. But yeah, y'all can find me there. The at is the same. It's just Draft Dodger with a 0. The profile pic is the same. I already put up my first post, and niggas in China is liking it. Yeah, they're gonna be sick of me. Long live China, nigga. Long live Xi Jinping, nigga. Big up to Mao Zedong, nigga.
Good God, dude. I mean, yeah, good for him. I also had to point out that it's pretty funny that a lot of people are harping on the free speech thing when you have to use words like grape instead of like sexual assault
on TikTok,
or unalive and pew pew instead of gun, which is, that's fine. I get it. It's because you can say those things. It's just gonna the algorithm's probably gonna ding you for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I wrote down how, reminding people that, hey, fentanyl and the precursors for fentanyl come from China. There was the Tiananmen Square is totally fucking blocked anything about it in China. You got the Uyghur situation.
I will say, people have tested that out. It's a very strange, I don't want to be like a Chinese apologist over here, but I do think, as I've talked about on the show so much, I think there is so much xenophobia in American journalism that it's hard to tell what is actually real. And so I don't know. Those reports are basically someone just like typing in Tiananmen into the search bar, clicking the first thing, and then just like scrolling through shit. It also is showing you it's not like a regular fucking search function. It's showing you things based on your algorithm and stuff. So I don't know.
It's can I tell you what my friend my Chinese friend, by the way, I love China. I went once for a couple days in one part of China. I had a great time.
With a very specific
milieu. Yeah. And I asked my friend about the Uyghur situation, and it was pretty shocking to hear his explanation of it. He said, you got to realize that these are, I'm paraphrasing because this was like a year ago, but he said, you got to realize that these are people who, they don't have modern beliefs and they are being re-educated. And that's what China's trying to do, is re-educate these people and bring them into the modern world and have them abandon these essentially wrong beliefs. And he said a big catalyst for that was, I guess, some Chinese Muslim guy like stabbed a bunch of people, did a stabbing attack. And so they were like, okay, we got to fix this. We got to fix these people's beliefs and re-educate them. And I was just sitting there stunned. I'm like, oh, that's what you think? That's what's going on? Is that? I mean...
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that because I have no idea.
Yeah, same. I have no idea. It's bananas. I also just wanted to point out the fact that we all have a problem with like Twitter being owned by one guy and the algorithm being owned and dictated to us by one guy.
I mean, that's a perfect example, right? A guy basically bought Twitter, bought himself an election. It's just like state-run media. It's just...
Yeah. And I just also, people are out, including us, as we should. We should always hold the government accountable. We should always be on the government's case about stuff for not doing enough or not doing their job. And now that they maybe are in one way, people are losing their shit over it. And it's like, it's weird that people seem to anecdotally.
No, but they're not losing their shit over that. I think there's a ton of young people who are really pissed about it. They've either, like I said, found success, career, business, socially. Some people have like built out weird communities on there and all that kind of stuff. They're not like pissed that the government's trying to protect them. I think they're pissed that they're taking away this tool that they used, and they don't feel that the government is really trying to protect them.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, I think if the government wanted to protect people, there's a much
They'd be
better way
doing-
to do it.
Yes. I think the government.
And that's how, I don't want China to have all this shit. I don't want Mark Zuckerberg to have all this shit.
Yeah.
I don't want Elon Musk to have access to all this shit. I don't want Google to have it all, Uber, all these people. I mean,
Yeah.
they know so much about me and everyone's like completely fine with it. It's just so bizarre that people have become comfortable with it in the American sense. I think if the American government was collecting that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
everyone would be up in arms.
Oh, yeah.
Americans.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they're like, I don't give a shit if Jeff Bezos knows how my entire life operates.
Yeah. Has this entire profile.
I don't
around me.
care if I put his fucking Ring cameras all over my goddamn house. He knows what time I shower. He knows when I'm getting food deliveries.
Yeah.
But if the American government had any kind of this, any amount of this data, they would lose their fucking minds. But they're just totally willing to sell it off to the highest bidder.
And doesn't the American government isn't that how they found fucking Luigi Mangione? Isn't that kind of what we've all kind of gleaned? That,
Well, yeah,
they're
it's-
probably using parts of the NSA.
It's unclear, but
Yeah. But I think we know. I think that's at the heart of it for me is
also,
like,
we don't know if Luigi Mangione did it. So I want to be.
That's a good point. Innocent till proven guilty. He said not guilty.
I don't think he did it.
But to quote Kyla from her article, again, great read. I'll link it in the description. She says, it's the collapse of information hierarchies, the compression of complexity into entertainment units, the privatization of public discourse, and the geopolitical struggle over the most powerful commodity of our time, attention. We're debating which company gets to manage our attention addiction rather than questioning the addiction itself.
I mean, that's
profound.
Yeah.
We have drastically lowered our standards for what constitutes being informed. There's also that. I mean, I guess my hope was to try to give a little bit more context to, it's kind of like a thing within a thing in that people are just like, oh, the government says that they care about our data. No, it's more complex than that. The government doesn't want that data in control of an adversarial government for its potential use against the United States and its interests now or in the future, because as we've seen, they can and will and do those kinds of things, both to the government and to private companies as it pertains to military and just stealing state secrets and stealing technology. It's not unusual.
Also, if you're so worried about China and want the government to do stuff about that, I mean, there's just so many things they could be doing. Elon Musk, most powerful man in the world right now, extremely cozy with China.
Dude.
Also, not just like best friends with Trump and bought the election, but also maybe depending on how you slice it, the largest government contractor at the moment.
Control satellites,
yeah.
rockets.
But so it just all seems like
Yeah.
get real when you're talking about national security concerns.
Yeah. And again, I think that just because they're focusing their attention on this one thing does not mean that they are not elsewhere. I think that there's so much more as it pertains to national security that they are working on all the time that we are not privy to.
Oh, I mean, we're not privy to a ton in this. That's what's very funny. You see a lot of lawmakers and stuff go, the CIA has shown us stuff you wouldn't believe.
You poop your pants.
And it's like, okay, then show it to us. And maybe we'll go like, oh yeah, ban the fucking app.
Yeah.
But even TikTok and their lawyers don't get to see all the stuff. They get handed long documents with full pages, just fully redacted out. And they're just going, but trust us, it's bad. You're doing nasty stuff.
Yeah.
So it's...
At the end of the day, what I would like to see happen is for TikTok to stay on our phones, have everybody have the freedom to continue using it. I think that it's high time that, and I think it might be too far gone, but we need like a collective kind of, maybe it starts in the public education system, a part of the curriculum for America's students to learn just about how to conduct oneself on the internet, how to protect yourself on the internet, how to
it does feel like it's too far gone.
Oh, dude.
I think yeah, I forget exactly how you put it in that Kyla quote, but it is just like a, yeah, I don't know. People, we're too far gone. Obviously, people need to conduct themselves differently online. It's so detrimental to us in so many ways. And I mean, yeah, you can't get the toothpaste back in the tube, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe they can figure out a way to discourage this monetization of our attention and all of that. But
modification, yeah, that's what she said.
The last week here has been such a clear example of. Remember when they used to say like Twitter's not real life, but now people kind of think that Twitter is real life. It's just very important to remember it's not. I mean, being here while all this stuff is going on, it feels great. You're encountering people in your everyday life who are they just want to help. They just want to like be put to use. If they can donate, they'll donate. If they can go drop shit off, they'll drop whatever they want to do. They just want to get out of the way, make sure like firefighters have whatever they need. You go online and it's just people screaming, fighting, doing takes bullshit, calling people fucking I have not heard DEI. I don't know if I've ever heard DEI in real life.
Dude, me either.
I don't know. I haven't. It's been, when did the fire start? Last Tuesday. It's been a full week at this point. I have not heard one person point out that the chief of fire.
We didn't have this lesbian.
Yeah, it's not part of the conversation. None of these things are real outside of that app.
Yeah.
And we all go to this place where we go, I want to go to the crazy making place. I want to just like fucking inject it into my veins. Let's go fucking insane right now.
Yeah.
And it's just not happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk to someone who's like not on Twitter, what? What are you saying?
Yeah.
Who's pissed?
What's DEI?
I mean, it's so far, like
it's when a black person flies an airplane.
It's solely, I mean, it's not just your attention. I mean, it is your attention, but like they go to great lengths to piss you off so you stay, right? And like when things don't work, is Christopher Rufo that right-wing guy? Is that who I'm thinking of?
I don't know. I think so. It's one of the, I know that name, which is sad because I'm like, yeah, that's a name I've seen on the fucking thing.
He, because he's not drumming up enough with the DEI bullshit and the lesbian firefighters and all that. So now I saw him tweeting about how, have you guys noticed how the sign language interpreters?
Oh yeah, I saw that. They're way more animated than I ever remember them being. Why is that?
I mean, I gotta say,
and someone
took the time, like God bless them, to explain it to them.
And I could have told him that, fucker. Like it's to emphasize.
They basically explained to him that a lot of hearing challenged people said that's not good sign language. Just doing it like this, it's much better when there's expression. Just the way when we talk to each other, we get my. We're taking a lot of it away because we're all getting Botox and stuff. But like I get use of my eyebrows and I'm using all these things. They want the same amount of communication through their language.
It's italics. It's bold.
It's just like,
what a fucking moron. It is fun to watch those ASL people. Remember that one woman who faked it in New York? I think it's because a lot of them read lips also. It's supplementing. They do the sign language, and they
it's
can
easier
read lips
if you're more
of the person going like
expressive.
No,
so this is Christopher Rufo. I genuinely don't know what this guy is. I don't want to. And he's just, I'm sorry, but we have to stop with the ridiculous sign language interpreters who turn serious press conferences into a farce. There are closed captions on all broadcast channels and streaming services. No wild human gesticulators necessary.
Shut the fuck
You have
up.
to be such a baby to get pissed about this, that there's a guy doing sign language for.
It makes it better, man.
Also for getting people information about an active fire.
Yeah.
It's
too distracting.
Well, in coordination with our federal and state partners, how we can
I love watching the guy.
Stop.
It's
the
also
messages
completely
that are going
fine.
out right now that are not being initiated by a human action.
Because sometimes I'm like, is this another instance of someone faking it
and then
doesn't really know
how that occurred?
Closed captioning can be unreliable. It
so
can be
that
slow.
that the
It can be
tool
inaccurate.
Can still be used for what
Yeah,
was
and probably going to
identified
be
as, like, a critical
probably going to
fire
have
weather that was
AI
still
implemented into it
Sure.
and super
experiencing
inaccurate.
it.
Oh,
Well,
okay, right. So he said, "Dear friends, am I missing something? Is closed captioning not sufficient? Why did these live interpreters suddenly appear everywhere right at the moment in which CC and AI, closed captioning AI, made this obsolete?" And this woman or this person said, "Sign languages such as ASL are distinct languages in their own right. They are the first language of many deaf people and are not signed versions of spoken languages. Deaf people might prefer to receive important information in their first language, even if proficient in English." And he said, "There are more native Chinese speakers than native," this is Christopher Rufo, "than native ASL speakers. So wouldn't that standard might prefer to receive important information in their first language, even if proficient in English, be a justification for having side-by-side Chinese and other languages?" Jesus Christ. He said, and this
Just
patient
give up,
man
dude.
is still two people speaking over each other in different spoken languages would be an issue for comprehension. A sign interpreter does not impact your comprehension. There's also only one sign language with widespread use in the US, but many immigrant languages. And then he just stopped responding because it's just like, dude, he answered your fucking question. Just fuck off. Why is it so bad to make life a little easier for some people?
Yeah. Because it's frustrating. It's a distraction.
It's annoying to me.
Plus, he's DEI. He's black.
Right.
He only got hired to do that because he's black.
And you're doing it for disabled people. So that's too compassionate and we should stamp that out.
Yeah, I will say this. I just find all of this interesting. I mean, it is I wouldn't call it nerding out, but it tickles some part of me when it gets specific.
It's
and
definitely fascinating.
Yeah.
I find it all very unfortunate. I don't want to live through this like bullshit saber rattling Cold War. And obviously there's a argument for protecting Americans. I just don't know if that's what's happening
or
right now.
America.
Sure.
That's what I'm more focused on. It's not necessarily Americans, but it's America, the country. And I am just, again, the Cambridge Analytica thing. And the reason I pointed out like fentanyl is because like there's clearly.
But that's a funny one because that's like a clear instance where Zuck did not give a shit about Americans.
Yes, true.
And
absolutely. And got quote unquote punished for it, aka a fucking fine.
Right.
His net worth has 10x'd since then, I'm sure.
And so
that's the big joke. It's
that's what I'm.
Oh, we're gonna make it so that this foreign adversary can't manipulate your data and use it against you, but it's fine if American companies.
That's what I've been saying this whole time.
And I've been agreeing with you. I'm like, yes, I agree, but I don't think that. I think it's like, all right, let's deal with these one at a time. But I don't think that thereafter it's going to get any better because fucking Zuck, who is
not going to.
Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are all going to be at the inauguration. It's just like, hey, we got the three most wealthy, powerful guys alongside what is that signaling to America? That's hey, we got all the new leaders in place.
They've finally, taken the leap to merge, which, I mean, it's always been this way, but it's just so blatant now, this merge between government and business. It's one and the same. And yeah, they're all falling in line in a way that's
wild, dude. But Mark Zuckerberg just has no intrinsic set of beliefs. He'll just roll with it like jujitsu. He'll roll with it. God, what a fuck.
The only real solution is honestly like people
sending packages,
stepping out of the social media space and getting back in the
getting back into real life.
Because I'll tell you what, it feels good in there. That shit is not real and it's poisoning your fucking brain.
I hate to say it, but I saw some conservative account weeks ago saying, because I think it's good to check on what the ops are doing and see what they're up to.
But even that, I think that makes you crazy. We've talked about it on this where I'm like, dude, that's not real.
But sometimes wait to hear what I'm saying. This guy was saying the future is real life spaces. The future is creating.
The future's real life, like
like actual places where you can go. And he was saying we need to start. Here's $1 billion idea: is create space. He's essentially reinventing like coffee shops,
which is fucking
and
crazy.
cigar lounges.
Do not let tech companies reinvent a pub.
Yeah,
it's just fucking insane.
But I mean, it's a good fucking point. It's like, yeah, that's probably the next thing is how you skirt the algorithm and get around the data collection and all that shit.
Is get off it. Don't give them your.
Yeah.
I remember when we went.
But don't stop listening to the show, folks. Don't stop watching. But subscribe and like and comment.
That's an important thing. I kind of started thinking about myself in this situation when I'm thinking about these people who are who are getting their businesses basically shut down because of
fires.
No, because of TikTok potentially going away. And we are all at the mercy of these things. What if YouTube or Trump decides he's pissed at Google, they shut down YouTube or whatever? Sure. Not going to happen, but you know what I mean? That we've all built livelihoods on this new frontier of the internet, and they all are just, it's like if one pissed off guy gets.
It's not only that, it's just tweaking of the algorithm.
Sure. I mean, that's another work.
Remember Facebook with pivoting to video? Video is going to be the next big thing, and all these businesses
basically destroyed journalism.
Countless.
Yeah. Which
and then it ended up being bullshit.
That might have been intentional.
It ended up being bullshit because they found out that all the numbers for these videos they were reporting to advertisers were inflated.
Right.
So, God damn, dude. Sorry, folks. I know that this is it's fucking. So I have something funny. Remember how I was joking? I tweeted about running for political office.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy DM me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm part of a. Here's the thing, it's a crypto group."
No,
he's like,
dude.
I'm part of this crypto group, this lobbying. I don't know.
This sucks.
But he was like, willing to talk to you about. But what if I use? What if I just use? Use him.
You're not going to be able to
use him. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm in Congress and I'm like, fuck you.
Even people with good intentions can't get anything done. You backed by nefarious actors. That's just so depressing. It's just going to be
that he's like, hey, let me help you.
Completely.
I'm not going to run for Congress. Who am I kidding?
Just puppet state ran by crypto and tech billionaires who. Oh, this is just.
That's apparently what their the whole
That's what pisses me off. They should be protecting us from these kinds of harms.
Mm-hmm. Who, the government?
Yes, and I don't think this is a move to do that, and it's just fucking infuriating.
Yeah, and I mean, look no further than the way Zuckerberg is pivoting just to cater and kowtow to the incoming administration. It just shows that they don't have any kind of moral backbone. It just is, okay, what's going to keep my business alive? What's going to keep my business from being broken up? Forced to sell off assets, any number of things. And it's like, my guy, you fucking won. You're worth over $100 billion. Why do you need to keep doing this shit?
More money. You got to build more bunkers. The end times are coming. I think what you're going to see is them finally realize that if we want to navigate this climate crisis, what we really need to do, really bring the population down, and we're going to have to hide out. And that's what you use when they say, AI is going to solve the climate crisis, they're just going to come up with some kind of, they're going to put it in AI's hands who they mass execute and stuff. So they'll be like, look, our hands are up. The AI says this is the best way to fight climate change. We got to fucking execute you. And you're like, yes, Daddy Zuck, I'll do it for you. Turn my fucking body into a paperclip for you.
Have you seen the TV series Utopia?
No.
It's several years old. It's British. It's phenomenal. Highly recommend to all you guys. The original one, I think it came out in 2011, but it's all about a secret shadow group trying to cull the population of the world, and this other group trying to stop them. And it's really, really good and really,
Thanos
really.
style?
What's that?
Thanos style?
No, there's no snapping.
Mm.
But it's really, really pertinent to what's happening today. And it's a worthwhile. But then it's like Elon Musk is saying, no, we need more people. So I don't know what to think.
He's trying to get them off the trail. He's trying to throw them off the scent.
Yeah.
They're like, Elon, you do your weird population stuff and have 17 kids to keep it kosher.
Meanwhile, speaking of Zuck, let's go a little long today. He went on Joe Rogan last week, and man, dude, I think he really did a lot of work by going from nerdy Mark Zuckerberg to like fuckable, sexy Mark Zuckerberg. That everybody was like, oh yeah, I kind of dig it. He's being himself.
Well, and you know what I think a big
thing.
part of it was, he also, when did he announce the metaverse? Was that 2021, 2022?
I think it was 21.
He's been we kind of thought of him as such a joke.
Mm-hmm. He was.
When, he's going on with
Stock was in the toilet.
Stock was in the toilet. He's going on with, what's that woman's name? Gayle King. And they're like, they've got and they're like, oh, and I'm in the metaverse.
Yeah.
And Facebook, was it? No one used Facebook. We're like, this guy's a joke. He has Instagram, but he's just stealing other people's products and
acquiring things.
And then all of a sudden,
he does jujitsu.
And
he rides a surfboard and drinks a beer or something.
Yeah.
But he was trashing Apple as being like not innovative and haven't done anything.
Which he's not right about that, but he is right about because he also calls them out.
Yeah.
Over which is basically him just signaling like, hey,
I'm one of the cool ones.
No, well, he's saying don't regulate me. The real issue is Apple with their monopoly. That's who you guys should be thinking about antitrust stuff with.
And he was saying that the workplace needs more masculine energy, and he says that corporate culture is neutered, and that the intent is good behind like having more female energy. And he said, I'll just play this one clip starting at 1:57 here. Oy.
Their background or gender, but I think these things can always go a little far. And I think it's one thing to say we want to be kind of like welcoming and make a good environment for everyone. And I think it's another to basically say that masculinity is bad. And I just think we kind of swung culturally to that part of the kind of the spectrum where, it's all like, okay, masculinity is toxic. We have to like get rid of it completely. It's like, no, like it's both of these things are good, right? It's like you want like feminine energy, you want masculine energy. Like I think that's like you're going to have parts of society that have more of one or the other. I think that's all good. But I do think the corporate culture sort of had swung towards being this somewhat more neutered thing. And I didn't really feel that until...
The most annoying thing about this is that he was part of that fucking swing because it was fucking Obama years. He got himself, what is her name? Sheryl Sandberg.
Yeah.
She fucking wrote Lean In. They basically defined...
Which you hated.
I did fucking hate Lean In. It's not fucking... It's bullshit.
Yeah.
And... But he fucking ushered in what they considered modern feminism and all this fucking shit.
Yeah.
And now he's just like, you know what?
I didn't want to do that. I thought that was a bad idea. He was reflecting on how he started hanging out with more guys and schmoozing around with them, and then when he started doing martial arts is when he started to realize, oh, I forgot what masculine. Which, as someone who wants to try that, I'm sure
he's martial arts curious.
I'm BJJ curious. I kind of I would do kickboxing instead because I want to know how to defend myself. Number one, and my future wife.
Run.
Yeah. But if push comes to shove, if I get pushed and then shoved, I want to be able to.
You're going, hey, you push me? Don't shove me.
You better not shove, bub.
Oh, that's a shove.
Put
your dukes up.
I'm going to take old timey boxing lessons that are way, way woefully outdated and utterly useless. No, I just want to learn a couple takedowns, man. I just want to know how to wrestle someone into submission.
For sure.
Apologize.
What were you going to say about Zuck?
Oh, just I hear what he's saying about, it's a yin and yang thing. There is room for both, and I think that
I kind of
culturally there has been a pendulum swinging a little far one way from being too far in the other direction, and it's just like it's all connected because it's all part of the social media apparatus and how everybody's got a take, and everybody condenses otherwise very, very complex topics into a single sentence or a single infographic about things that require that deserve much more conversation and nuance, and it's all damaging. And I blame you, Mark Zuckerberg. I think we should kill him.
I think it.
Wait, what? Wait, huh?
I think he. Nothing he said there is like explicitly bad. It's just very like dog whistly, right?
Yeah.
And then while at the same time he's saying this and everyone's talking about the culture shift and the vibe shift, you have. I had to find the article and read it, but this, Financial Times article where what is it called? It's is corporate America going MAGA? And it has, you might have seen it on Twitter by now. It has one of the most insane
that's
lines.
Where that, yeah.
Yeah, it's from the Financial Times. It's a quote. "I feel liberated," said a top banker. "We can say retard and pussy without the fear of getting canceled.
All right.
It's a new dawn."
Hell yeah, brother.
And I think when he talks, it's fucking insane.
It's so funny.
But
a top banker too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Name your source, Financial Times. I need to know.
We need to know.
What guy said. But I think this is what Zuckerberg is referring to.
Yeah.
When he's like, we just need masculinity back in the workplace.
Yeah.
It's guys like this being like, you know what? For the last 8 years, I felt like I might get in trouble if I called my coworker gay. And now
I'm going to call him gay.
I can do that.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck off.
Also, I dare you. Go ahead and try it.
Honestly,
you're still going to get in trouble.
dude. That's what I'm so confused about. Is this going to get brought to HR and HR is going to go,
sorry,
look, employee, Trump's in office now.
Yeah.
Get used to it. You didn't do your work, and that's gay.
Yeah. Truly,
what
actually,
the fuck is going?
You are a big retard. And actually, now we're going to fire you because what you did was gay.
Is that what's going? Is that what's going to happen at Meta? People are just going to be like, "You're a pussy, dude." Honestly,
time for your annual review.
I hope we start seeing on Twitter people screenshotting emails from actual Meta employees being like, "You were acting like a total pussy in that meeting."
Well, let's look up the leaked doc.
Yeah, that's the other.
Some of the things that you can. So obviously, Meta's got there's a leaked Meta rules thing because they've got to dictate what you can say, like find the limits of it, and
The Intercept basically got because Mark Zuckerberg's talking about his new what do they call it?
Privacy? No.
Moderation efforts and all that. And so this is from The Intercept. Leaked Meta rules. Users are free to post Mexican immigrants are trash or trans people are immoral. I'm a proud racist. Black people are more violent than whites. Immigrants
are grubby, filthy pieces of shit.
These are examples.
Don't clip that.
Examples of newly permissible speech on Facebook and Instagram highlighted in the train. I cannot believe they had training materials.
Yeah.
Look, guys, if you turn to page 6, you'll see we've got some newly permissible speech that includes immigrants are grubby, filthy pieces of shit.
Yeah.
We're all good with that now.
Wait, so I have a question.
Yes.
Can someone say that gays are freaks?
Allowed now.
What about I don't even want to say this one.
Go ahead. Don't be shy, pussy.
There's a photo.
This is meta now.
Okay, so I see a photo of a 17-year-old girl.
Sure.
What if someone said, "Look at that tranny"?
Good.
Is that allowed?
In the clear.
Cool. Got it. Fuck. That felt bad. That felt awful.
Well, it shouldn't because that's allowed now, all right?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about some pussy canceling you.
some gay retard saying, "Hey, that's not allowed." So they're not the only ones doing that. Amazon has ended their DEI programs. Meta, obviously. There's a shareholder measure to eliminate some DEI initiatives at Apple, but Apple itself is opposing that Pfizer is facing a lawsuit over its diversity program. So it's definitely in the ether
It's
now.
definitely a new day.
Yeah.
It's funny when they were, it was probably the day after the election and people were like, there's a vibe shift coming. And I was like, okay, shut up, whatever. It is, Trump has not even been inaugurated.
Yeah.
It is crazy how quickly people are like, you can call people gay now. Like at work.
It sounds like a Shane Gillis line. Hey, you can call people gay now at work? That's fucking wild, dude.
It's, yeah. I mean, dude, that whole interview with Zuckerberg was.
Did you watch the whole thing?
No, I watched parts of it. The whole thing is so frustrating. He's playing dumb in some parts. He talks about the Consumer Financial Protections Board.
I don't even know what they do. What do they even do?
Get the fuck out of here.
And they're coming after us.
He's like, we're not a bank.
Yeah, but your information, your fucking data.
Dude, not only that, so he's pretending he doesn't know what the fuck it is. They're being investigated by them for good reason because there's data. Not only that, he's saying like, we're not a bank. Meanwhile, he wants to have meta payments like all these people do, like Apple Pay, all this fucking shit. They want to have their own payment system, but they don't want anyone to like have any kind of regulatory system that looks into it. They wanted to start their own fucking currency with Libra. Suck my fucking dick. And you can say that now at work.
I'm going to start one called Sagittarius. Also, a lot of people had a really interesting, funny take.
Also, Joe Rogan is fully just fucking, all he does is sanitize these fucking tech morons. Just
literal billionaires, oligarchs.
And if you're eating that slop up, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I hope you like the taste of boot, my man.
Yeah. Probably taste good. They smell good. I mean, you ever smelled a new boot? I wouldn't lick it, though. Kind of the opposite with chocolate. Chocolate smells like poop. Sometimes.
I just don't get how they've.
Tastes good.
I don't get how they've done it. They've successfully made it seem cool and based to be like a billionaire overlord.
Well, because everything is just gay and against them. So they're like, actually, all the stuff that the government's been doing against me is pretty gay, and I'm a victim of it.
And that's like a winning message.
Truly, I mean. Joe Rogan, I know how this sounds, folks, but the Joe Rogan of like 10 years ago would, not even 15 at this point. I was listening to him in the double-digit episode era.
Someone made a very funny point. They were like, Joe Rogan is not a Republican now. He's just had the last 20 or so guests be somewhat right-wing, and he doesn't critically think, so he just accepts that information.
Yeah.
It's whoever he had on last, he's like, wow, he's like, if we get left-wing people on there or something, he's going, whoa.
And he'd have his pronouns in his bio within 2 episodes. Yeah, I saw that. It's great. But yeah, it is wild that someone pointed out that it's just now a place for these guys to go to clean up their reputations and be reborn.
Yeah, Matt Stoller called it state propaganda and was calling it like Pravda. It's just ridiculous.
Would I go on there? You bet.
Let's cut the knife thing.
Yeah, let's cut the knife thing.
But leave us saying let's cut the knife thing so people are like, what the hell was the knife thing?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully that's not too complicated. Well, let's leave it on a somewhat funny note. So there's these employees at Apple that scammed Apple. Did you see this?
No.
It's really, really good. So there were these workers, basically Apple matched charity donations up to $10,000 a year. So if you're an employee and you donate to a charity, Apple will match it up to $10,000. So some of these workers created fake charities and donated to themselves, and then Apple matched them, and they just got the money back, and Apple caught them, and they were charged for fraud, defrauding Apple and defrauding the state of California.
It's going to be a big salute from me.
I love that. I think that that's great. But, just in this day and age, you're not going to be able to get away with shit. So just keep it to stealing pens and paper clips and shit. I mean, come on.
Go classic style.
Yeah, go classic style. Man, when my dad used to take me to work with him, when he would work the graveyard shift, I would go around to all the different desks that were empty, and I would just be like, oh, you can take pens? And he'd take me to the office supply room, and I was fucking like 10. What am I going to do with like a folder? But it felt like, this is free. I got to take some.
But what are you going to do with the Sharpie? potentially stick it up your ass, wrap it in toilet paper, leave it in your dad's wastebasket.
That's true. Yeah, I did do that. What was cool? You don't know that story? Jesus.
That's
All
for
right.
another time.
What was cool is since it was a shipping company, the stickers that you see on like the backs of trucks that say
I know the stickers on the backs of trucks?
that say like corrosive or flammable or gas
Makes
or
frequent stops.
all of that stuff. They had a wall full of all of those stickers.
A little boy's dream.
Oh man, I took home so many. Me and my brother, we would have them on our wall. Explosive gas, because
Pretty good.
fart. They also had the suction tubes. Do you know about the vacuum tubes in some of these old like office buildings? Where like say you've got a
The pneumatic
document.
tubes.
Yeah,
Is that what they're called?
a series of tubes, pneumatic tubes.
Pneumatic tubes.
It'd be this like fucking.
It's like the fucking, remember at the bank teller? Zoom.
Yeah, it was I thought it was the coolest thing. He'd be like, "Oh, I gotta sign this and send it off to another part of the."
That's what tech companies should be. Just creating dumb shit.
Tubes. We've got a new tube design. There was a kid walking in front of me today when I was walking Doug. Go ahead.
Doug's Bobby for those
Yeah,
of you who don't know.
He was walking in front of me blasting classical music. And I just thought, man, how funny would it be if society and culture never progressed beyond classical and it was just all classical all the time?
That just reminds me of the Fred Armisen has that great bit where he does he talks about how, people had never heard. And a good example of this was I was trying to explain, like my brother was asking about the Bob Dylan movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I think it chronicles him going electric and whatever. And my brother was like, I don't really get the big deal. And I was playing him stuff from his folk days and stuff from the electric period. And he was like, but I don't know. And I was like, yeah, but you're listening to it in 2024. It's insane. But he does, he plays like something from 1950s that's considered rock. And it's like, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's funny that people were going nuts for this. And so he plays it and he's pretending to be someone just like.
Yeah, I've seen that clip where it's just, well, I love my baby.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
my
yeah.
honey.
But like it must have felt insane.
Fuck
to,
you, Mom. Well, I love my honey. I love my baby, and I'm going to the store today. Yeah. And if you were to play some like death grips to those same people, their heads would.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just would have went.
Right. It's like Marty McFly playing. Is it Van
Johnny
Halen?
B. Good. Johnny B. Good. Oh well, yeah, he plays Van Halen
for his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To convince him to fuck his mom.
Exactly.
You better fuck that lady, or I'll kill you. My name is Darth Vader. Anyway, folks.
Spoiler for Back to the Future.
So do you want to make a prediction before this comes out? Is the Supreme Court going to uphold it, or are they going to issue a stay and keep it?
I think it will get banned only for Trump to bring it back somehow.
I agree with you. That's my prediction as well.
This man is going to be so popular.
Yeah. I mean, it would be...
Trump...
He'll figure something out.
Yeah.
They were already talking about doing some kind of firewall, I don't know, or basing it in Austin, Texas, and having like Cisco systems run the fucking server. I don't know. Anyway, folks, this is as close as we're probably... Maybe next week with Kyla we'll go 2 hours. There'll be a lot to talk about.
Or maybe we won't.
Well, maybe we won't. But
if you do want an extra hour, I got great news for you. BenandEmilShow.com. We should have said it at the top of the episode, but BenandEmilShow.com. You can get some extra episodes where we just goof off, pal around, and we just got the good word that we can say all the bad words. So we'll be doing that in the bonus episode.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be saying so many naughty words.
But we love you. Like always, stay safe out there.
Stay safe out there, everybody.